Constantin Valdor, first Captain General of the Adeptus Custodes, the most loyal man in the galaxy that was present at every critical moment of the heresy, present as the Emperor was broken and interred, and then gone. A being whose entire existence was defined by one singular purpose doesn't just walk away from that. And the part that bothers me? No one went looking for him. Welcome, Initiate. The official story is almost poetic in its simplicity. After the siege of Terra, Valdor looked back one final time, whispered the words, "Only in death," and walked away. To understand this, you need to understand what Valdor actually was. He was called the Emperor's Spear, a constant presence at the right hand of a living god for centuries. Not just for the grand speeches and the public victories, but for the silent councils, the sealed vaults, and the decisions that were never written down. Rogel Dorn himself noted the distinction. The Primarchs served the Imperium, but Valdor's role was singular, to safeguard the life of the Emperor himself. So the Sanctioned story goes like this. The heresy ends, the Emperor is broken and interred into the Golden Throne. Valdor oversees the internment, whisper his final words, and vanishes. The Custodes elect a new Captain General, and the Imperium moves on. But there is a crack in this story. Actually, there are several. The official record of Valdor's final hours is suspiciously clean, like someone went through it afterwards and removed anything that asked a question. Let's start with what Valdor actually knew. His proximity to the Emperor wasn't ceremonial. For centuries, he was present for decisions the Primarchs were never trusted with. He knew the Golden Throne wasn't built as life support. That was never its primary purpose. It was built as a psychic gateway, a key to the Eldar webway, designed to free humanity from the dangers of the warp entirely. That plan failed because Magnus broke the wards. The webway project collapsed, and the Golden Throne became something else. Something Valdor watched being repurposed. Then something changes in the final days of the siege. Those few who could read the micro-expressions of a custodian noted a shift in Valdor. Not the weariness of battle. He had survived 10,000 horrors without flinching. This was different. A profound, unnerving stillness. A hesitation where there had never been one. The kind of silence that settles over a man who has seen something he cannot reconcile. He knew something was wrong before the Emperor's final confrontation with Horus even happened. And this is where it breaks. Look at the Emperor's actions in those final hours. Against all counsel, he teleported directly to Horus's flagship. He personally guided the Primarch Vulcan to install a dead man's switch inside the Golden Throne, a failsafe weapon that would consume all of Terra if the machine ever failed. These are not the desperate moves of a man fighting to survive. These are the calculated preparations of a man who already knows how this ends. You already see the problem, don't you? A man who installs a dead man's switch in his own life support isn't afraid of dying, he's afraid of being interrupted. So Valdor returns to the throne room. As Captain General, he oversees the interment personally. He stands before the machine, and he watches the broken body of the man he served being wired into the Golden Throne, when suddenly, feels something he has never felt before in centuries of absolute loyalty. The pieces click into place. The strange final orders. The dead man's switch. The reckless teleport that wasn't reckless at all. The Emperor's own cryptic words from conversations no one else was present for. The Golden Throne was never a coffin. It was always a converter. The heresy wasn't a tragedy that interrupted the Emperor's plan. It was the final move in it. The martyrdom, the faith of trillions, the psychic amplification of worship, all of it feeding into a machine designed not to keep a man alive, but to transform him into something that couldn't be stopped. The Emperor didn't lose the war. He reached exactly the outcome he needed. For a man whose entire existence was built on loyalty to a person, not an institution, not an idea, but a man, this truth is a slow, cold poison. He had pledged his life to someone, and that someone had used everyone around him as instruments in a plan none of them consented to. For the first time in his existence, Constantin Valdor couldn't obey. A Valdor who knows this truth is the single greatest threat to the new Imperium. His word carries weight second only to the Emperor's. If he speaks, the Custodes fracture. The nascent faith of trillions cracks before it can calcify into the religion the plan requires. You can't kill him. His death creates a martyr and a question no one can answer safely. You can't imprison him. His absence from his post creates a vacuum louder than any accusation. There is only one option. You erase him, his presence, his purpose. You issue the order that the most loyal man in the galaxy, by the very nature of his loyalty, cannot refuse. You send him away, and you make the departure look like a choice. The Emperor's last silent command, issued from the throne itself. Walk away, and take what you know with you. There are two versions of Constantin Valdor. In one, he is a man destroyed by the unbearable weight of truth, a guardian who saw behind the curtain, couldn't live with what he found, and chose the only form of mercy available to him, disappearance. Tragic, human, understandable. In the other, he is something colder, a sentinel who understood that some truths cannot be spoken, only carried, who accepted the Emperor's final order not out of blind obedience, but because some part of him understood that the alternative, the truth becoming known, would be worse than the lie. A man who loved his Emperor enough to protect the lie that made him a god. The Illuminati Broadcast Network doesn't tell you what to believe, but I want to know where you stand, Initiate. Is Constantin Valdor a broken man, wandering under the weight of a secret no one should carry alone? Or is he still out there, watching, waiting? The last man alive who knows what the Golden Throne really is and what it was always meant to do. The report on Constantin Valdor is closed. Hope you like it, and thanks for watching.